It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Surprise!
Yeah.
Rossington Collins Band, ladies and gentlemen.
I was checking the dial.
Man, I hadn't heard that one in a while.
Yeah.
It is Tuesday. It is October the 8th. And right now, without further delay, here's your top 5 at 6. The 5 stories you need to know to get your day pointed in the right direction. Number 5, Mega Millions tickets are about to jump up in price. In April of next year, a Mega Millions ticket's going to cost you $5.
$5.
$5 per play.
First cigarettes, now this. Well, it just means I'll have fewer tickets to check, I guess.
I guess
I'll check
so.
4 instead of 10.
You can get one now for $2. You can buy the extra $1, the Mega Player, for $3. And now they're going, you know what? We're just going to put you up to $5 per.
All right, is that with the Mega Player, though?
It is. There's a Mega Player. They're going to add more. The current odds of scoring the jackpot, 1 in 302 million. They're saying the odds will now increase. There'll be more big jackpots.
Okay.
Everybody's involved in a Mega Player now that goes up to 10 times more than the current 5 times your win if you don't get the big jackpot.
Is that what they're saying?
That's what
All
they're
right.
saying. I will happily take out a $1 bill and then a second $1 bill and light them on fire to buy a Mega Millions ticket. But I'm not going to light a $5 bill on fire very often. I got to be drunk to do that.
Yeah, it does start to cut into the profit margin. I mean, if you got to buy a $5 ticket and you only win $10 million.
No, it's like, what's the point? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's at some point it starts to turn into real money. You're right. I kept some loosies, whatever. But yeah, when you start adding them up by 5.
Well, you go in there with a 10, you buy 5 tickets, you feel like you got a chance because you're stupid like me. Now you go with the 10, you only got 2 tickets, and you're like, well, why am I even trying?
Yeah.
I'm never going to win the Mega Millions. Number 4 in your top 5 at 6, dogs are dealing with, in the last 20 years or so, specifically the last, since smartphones came along, dogs are experiencing great, highly elevated levels of, wait for it, depression. Dogs get depressed when they see you losing your life to your smartphone. When you're going down the rabbit hole, your dogs notice that you're ignoring them. You're staring at your phone.
Yeah.
Researchers have said dogs pick up on the fact you're ignoring them. They get more anxious. All that anxiety leads to depression. Cats apparently also don't love you when you're on your phone either, but because they're less social than dogs, as we all know, it doesn't bother them as much. But Chauncey Gorman, 100% when we are walking, if I take a phone call, his demeanor changes. It's a full-on fact.
Yeah.
Same.
You need to get your dog a phone. Chauncey needs a phone.
You know what? It never even occurred to me.
That's what we did with our kids. When our kids were noticed we weren't paying attention to them because we're looking at our phones all the time.
Yeah.
We just got them phones.
Let's get them their own crack pipes.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other thing Chauncey Gorman knows is in the morning, especially when I'm sitting in the chair at home and I have my laptop open and I'm looking at the stories and I'm thinking, when I shut my laptop, when he hears this noise, that he immediately jumps up. And either runs to his food bowl or runs to the door.
I thought the show was over. I was doing the same thing there for a second.
And I do that every day, and I'm like, oh, this is sad. This is sad. Number 3 in your top 5 at 6. We talked about this last month. The coolest thing made in Minnesota poll. There's been a bracket tournament. People are voting for the coolest things made in Minnesota.
Yeah.
The 4 finalists. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
3M Scotch Magic Tape. Love it. Red Wing Shoe Company's Beckman boot. Don't have a pair, but I'm looking at it thinking I might have to get a pair.
The Beckman, I don't know. The
Beckman's pretty strong.
I just been living with the classic.
It's not so much a work boot as much as you could get away in a lot of different settings, but it's just a good-looking shoe.
Is it their hipster boot?
It's probably, the more I look at it, it's kind of hipsterish.
Well, the nice thing about Red Wings is they wear in really nice. You just got to go out and scuff the hell out of it.
No, it looks good. Number 3 is the Midwest Floating Island Innovative National Aquarium Wetland. What? Sorry.
I was thinking golf. I was like, cool, man.
I mean,
it's good for the wetlands.
Give me a terrarium in third grade. That's cooler. And then finally, the Action Manufacturing Action Track Chair, which looks like it's basically an off-road wheelchair. It's battery powered, and it's got like tank treads. It can go anywhere.
It's pretty badass.
By the way, real badass.
Several years ago, and I think it was this company. It was a Minnesota company. Took some of our vets out that are paraplegics now, hunting in one of those bad boys. And there's one of them that will actually stand you up when the birds get in the air, so you can start blasting. Then they're on tank treads, and you're thinking. First of all, you're thinking to yourself, "Oh man, they went ahead and they did this for our country. They served. They came back a paraplegic." Then you're watching them hunting these, and I'm thinking to myself, I want one.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell? I'm walking around here like a slob, and this guy's on tank tracks.
Minnesota Chamber of Commerce website. You can vote for the best thing made in Minnesota. Number 2 on your top 5 at 6. The Minnesota Lynx are facing off against the Connecticut Suns in Game 5 tonight of the WNBA semifinals. As Ryder said before the show, if you are excited about Minnesota championships, you got to get into the Lynx. Because I said, I'm a giant sports fan. Yeah. I love basketball and soccer are the 2 sports I played. I love women's soccer. I've never come around to women's basketball, and it's high time I do. I'm in a town with a great team. It's just one of those things. There's like apparently limited bandwidth in my brain.
Yeah.
But maybe. But I'm certainly hoping the Lynx get to the finals, and I'm hoping they win the finals. I like champions in my backyard.
Yeah. If you want to go to a championship parade, I mean, there's a ticket. You know?
And then I'll drive out to South Dakota and kiss my sister on the lips.
There you go.
I'm kidding. No, it's nice. The Lynx have won. Don't they won
several.
like 8 championships? 4.
Like 4 championships.
Yeah, that's why I was gonna say 8 divided by 2.
Okay.
You didn't let me finish.
Sorry.
Every number you give in any stories up, I always cut it in half. Cottage Grove, Minnesota. Good morning. What's happening in Cottage Grove? Educate me.
I'll tell you what's happening in Cottage Grove. Last time I was over there, I like to go over there and hit the bars on Broadway. And where was I? At the Muddy Cow, probably.
Okay.
And asked for I said, how's your bloody? I always do that. How's your bloody?
Yeah.
And I'm looking for spicy. And the bartender said, rad. I'll have it. If your bloody is rad, I'll have it.
Well, was it?
It was rad, as a matter of fact. It was very dark. They go with that very dark tomato with all the stuff in it. You can chew
nice. It. Oh, I heard about that bar. They have a pipeline from Long Beach, all their bartenders.
I think so.
That's exactly right. Number 1 on your top 5 at 6. Get ready to rumble because Minnesota's Psychedelic Medicine Task Force recommends that psychedelic mushrooms be decriminalized.
Yes. Yeah, here we go. You know what? Might want to start with marijuana.
I thought we did that already.
Did we?
I thought we
Let's go buy some
it.
after the show.
Oh, okay.
No, we can't. I'm saying stop it, Minnesota.
Well, it's decriminalized, meaning you can't get arrested for having it.
Right.
This would not make it legal to grow or sell, but possession would not be a problem.
All right. Well, that's a step in the right direction. I mean, Minnesota's trying. They just don't know how to go all the way.
Well, it's a big shift. It's a healthy shift from, hey, do you have mushrooms? And then you're choking them down so that once they're in your body, you're like, I don't possess any mushrooms. I've ingested mushrooms. There's a difference. Now you don't have to sweat the details. You no longer have to pull your car over to the side of the road and huff down a bag of mushrooms.
Well, baby
good
steps,
news,
I guess.
I've never experienced that before. I really haven't.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. It is time to learn a little something. Let's look back. On this day in 1956, a guy named Don Larson put his name into the history books because he threw the first ever no-hitter in World Series history. Oh, did I say no-hitter? I'm sorry. It was also a perfect game.
Son of a gun.
27 batters up, 27 batters down.
Damn.
There has never been another no-hitter, much less perfect game thrown in the World Series. Don Larson Why is he not in the Hall of Fame? Well, because his career record was 81 and 91. He played for 8 teams in 14 seasons, back when guys didn't jump around all that much.
Yeah.
He was just a complete guy. He's just a guy.
Yeah.
But for one day on the mound in Yankee Stadium, he was perfect.
He was the man.
That's so bizarre how baseball works like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The boomer. What was that guy who threw the perfect game for the Yankees? The big drunk dude. He's wearing Babe Ruth's
Wells
hat. Wells.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Right.
Good guy, but who saw that coming? And he said, I threw my best game ever with the worst hangover I ever threw with.
Right.
Fun fact. On this day in 2018, Drew Brees of the New Orleans Saints became the NFL's all-time leader in passing yards. Drew Brees. It's always the easiest guy to forget to me.
Yeah.
He had 363 yards and 3 touchdowns in a big win. His reign, of course, was fairly short-lived, as Tom Brady still had a few years up his sleeve. Brady ultimately retired 9,000 yards ahead of Drew Brees. But for a little while, Drew was king of the hill.
Yeah, he was.
So here's your top 5. Brady, all-time, 89,000 yards. Brees, 80,000. Peyton Manning, 71. Brett Favre, 71. Who's the 5th, Brian Zepp? Number 5, all-time yards, with 64,000 yards.
Terry Bradshaw.
Big Ben.
I was a Big Ben.
Right team, wrong guy.
I was a Big Ben far out through. Terry Bradshaw was a joke. That guy threw for like 1,000 yards a year, maybe.
Big Ben is number 5 all time. I had no idea. Aaron Rodgers, by the way, at 60,000 right now. There's no way he hits the top 5 before he pulls the plug after what I saw this past week. There's just no way.
That surprised me. But Big Ben, I mean, it was on his shoulders for a long time. Always had the running game, but it was a Big Ben's team for a long time.
Very true.
Yeah.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. You're listening to the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zepp, Tony, and Ryder on 92 KQRS.
Good Tuesday morning. It is October the 8th. What's up, Brooklyn Park? That's right, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Good morning.
On your way to Brooklyn Center, I understand.
That's what they tell me.
Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center. What if they thought about that name?
I will say I've always I just get a warm fuzzy feeling when I see Brooklyn anything. 1/8 of every American has family roots in Brooklyn, New York. Just
really?
throwing that out there.
I think Jesse Ventura is from Brooklyn Park, isn't he?
I believe so.
Booyah!
Yeah, come on, there it is. The land of Jesse. I'm a big fan.
Booyah.
Booyah. All right, listen, stop laughing because it's time to pull the plug on fun for crying out loud. Lay it on me.
Oh, I was just trying to get my facts straight. Unfun.
Unfun.
Not fun.
Not fun, not fun.
It's entirely unfun.
The KQ Morning Show presents
Unfun.
Facts.
Let's begin, shall we? Shall we?
If you want fun, you've come to the wrong place. It's Tuesday. It's the runt of the week, and we remove the fun for Unfun Facts. Did you know that mosquitoes are responsible for more human deaths than every war in the history of the human race combined?
I guess I didn't know that. It kind of makes sense. There's a bunch of those buggers.
They have advanced weaponry.
Yeah, right.
You know, the way Ryder,
war. We need another war.
The way Ryder just threw that, I believe it. It kind of sounded like a mosquito.
I don't know if I'm supposed to, fear mosquitoes more or war less.
Booyah.
If you hold in a sneeze, the way people do pinch your nose, for example, the air you would normally expel, it can force its way into the eustachian tubes of your ears. You can rupture your eardrums, causing vertigo or even deafness.
No kidding.
From one sneeze withheld.
Grandpa Sam used to tell you if you hold it, you could also shit your pants.
Really?
Yeah, that's what that's how he said it. So I just
I can recall holding in sneezes only at church.
Yeah. Because
apparently my dad was a disturbed man, and I was under the impression that was a problem if you sneezed.
Right.
I'd just sit there like, don't do it. I didn't want to get the look.
It bothers my mom. My mom does not like that. You got to let it out. You got to cover up and all that good stuff. But she does not like it when you hold a sneeze in. I forget what she'd say. You'd break something.
Yeah, right.
She was going to break something.
Probably so. The show Bob's Burgers, the animated TV show, the original concept was that the Belcher family were cannibals who made burgers from human flesh.
I'd be a bit more interested. It's a hard show for me to watch because I like Archer.
Right.
And they both have the same voice, and
I don't know.
Those two characters,
I just can't believe that didn't get greenlit.
Yeah, no kidding. It'd be a great...
The puns would be so much funnier. The burger puns would be hilarious if it was an actual human.
I have a bigger cult following, maybe.
Your cat, your precious little fur baby, your cats can infect you with their love. If you develop a sudden overwhelming love of cats, it could be more than just seeing them through a new light, because they carry a little something called toxoplasmosis. It's a parasite, often spread through cat feces, and it can cause humans to care more for cats.
Dogs do it. Dogs are just nice to us. That's how they do it.
No,
but
cats crap in the litter, and then you ingest that, and you breathe in the dust from the litter, and they're fecal, as someone would say. And in fact, being infected with toxoplasmosis can make you more attractive to other people too. The cats are surely trying to take over the human race. The headache, fatigue, and seizures, those side effects, who cares? I love my cat more than ever. Check this out. The smell of fresh cut grass is actually a distress signal released by the grass. You are enjoying the smell of pain.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Yeah, that's right. I was married once.
Totally worth it. Who's got a problem with that?
Yeah.
I'm a meatitarian. Plants are people too.
Did you say pain or paint?
Pain, baby, pain. When UPS started offering parcel service back in 1913, families often attempted to ship their kids through the mail. You want to go visit grandma? Boom, in the box you go.
You poke a couple holes in there, you're fine.
I love it. The cash on delivery, of course.
Yeah, oh yeah. According to NASA...
Fragile. I always put fragile on there. It's one of the kids.
According to NASA, the moon smells like gunpowder.
Oh, cool. I've always loved that smell. I mean, not in like a weird way, like I just want to shoot things up, but it's just got, it's like the smell of fresh cut grass.
My son loves the smell of gasoline.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Go out to the back shed where the lawnmower is, and there's the gas, and it just smells of gas, from the gas tank. He loves that smell.
Well, that wasn't difficult to get him to mow the grass, probably.
What you would think. No, it wasn't hard to get him to mow the grass. It was impossible to get him to mow the grass up to the standards his father expected.
Oh, listen to you. Wait a second. How can you smell the moon? Aren't you all like in a helmet up there and stuff?
That's what they say.
Just
you can't
pull the helmet off for a second.
I mean, thank God you can't drop a match. Rats can and regularly do have sex 20 times per day.
That's crazy.
What's a rat's life expectancy? Like 3 years?
Yeah.
So 20 times a day for 3 years averages out to, so we live 80 years, so 5 times, we still can't keep up.
How are they still getting around all that other, mischief of theirs if they're 20 times a day? Must be a bunch of quickies.
There's not a lot of foreplay, I can tell you that.
What if there's a Willie Chamberlain of the rats that has even bigger numbers?
20 times a day.
Not much foreplay, and cuddling is right out.
No talking afterwards.
Post-coital what?
Yeah.
Get the hell away from me, you rat.
Don't you have a friend that has a couple of rats and they have to stimulate their genitals, otherwise they go crazy? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. There are people right now listening to the show, women who are like, I knew a rat and I had to stimulate his... This is a true story. A human being once, after being backed up with some serious constipation, when the dam broke, when the blockade was solved, he produced a poop that measured 26 feet in length.
What? No.
An unbroken?
That's a true story.
Oh my God. I don't know why I know this, but that's the length of a regulation shuffleboard table. When you go to the bar, play a little shuffleboard, that's how long this turd was. You could have rolled it out on a shuffleboard.
I'm just now imagining, of course, that's the perfect way to measure the new world record. Get a guy on the shuffleboard. He has to squat and walk, and just as he goes. We've all seen our dogs when they're doing that.
I mean, I once had a guy boo-boo in the Army. When you're leaving, they turn your in. And it was it was a weird time. It was the 80s, but they would crap in your hat, your cover, as we called it. And he had a big coiler in there. I mean, it was like a little coil.
Oh, I see.
It wasn't 20. It was like 2 feet long, 26 feet long. I mean, you've got to keep flushing. That would touch.
Yeah, or you'd raise up into the air.
Yeah.
As it was happening.
I mean, if it's only an ounce per inch, you're still over 2 pounds. But I guarantee it's more than that. There are studies that show the most painful thing a human can experience is being burned alive. That makes sense. I mean, that checks out. I can only imagine.
Okay.
What's number 2? Childbirth.
Oh, really? And number 3? Having an erection in public.
Oh, well, yeah, sure.
Very uncomfortable.
So if that's true, then for the 1 billionth time, thanks, gals.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
I mean, I stubbed my toe and I'm like, we should call the Associated Press. Like alert the media, I'm in pain. And then women are just like, yeah, I just had a baby. Shut up.
So thankful for my penis.
Finally, if you find yourself in North Korea, which you will have, there's a host of problems if you do. But one of those that we should all be aware of, there's one thing that you may be surprised to find out is illegal in North Korea.
What?
Sarcasm.
I'm sure that's true.
Hey, watch it. Watch yourself.
Tricky doing a morning show in North Korea.
That's what I'm saying. Are you please? There are your unfun facts for the day. If you got a foot thing, and I know guys who have foot stuff going on. I dare say a fetish, if you will. Yeah. The lengths people will go to just entertain themselves with other people's feet. Got a good one for you. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
KQ Morning Show, Paranoid Black Sabbath. If you ever find yourself feeling a little paranoid, if you're walking around town and you're like, is that guy staring at my feet? The answer is, yeah, it probably is. There's a bunch of foot freaks out there. Foot fetish is a very real thing. And you don't have to be Quentin Tarantino to know the allure. You do realize there's always like foot stuff in his movies. He's got a real foot thing going on.
Especially Uma.
It was Brad Pitt at one of those award shows outed him right here.
I want to thank my co-stars, Leo, Margot Robbie's feet, Margaret Qualley's feet, Dakota Fanning's feet. Seriously, Quentin has separated more women from their shoes than the TSA.
That's funny.
I did not even know that it happened, and I had no idea you had access to that clip. Well played. Yeah. But check this out. There's a car wash in Arizona that just had to arrest a gentleman there because my man, Jesse Johnson, great name for a foot fetishist. He's 28 years old. He has a special way to get an uninterrupted, an unabridged, perfectly clear view of women's feet. He goes to the car wash, and then as a woman is vacuuming their own vehicle, he climbs under their car. He crawls under their car, and he'll remain there for several minutes just staring at the feet. Now these are feet who are, I would imagine, 9 times out of 10, shoed or clogged or sandaled. Right. They're not open wide. No one's barefoot at the car wash. That said, doesn't really matter to him. He goes under the woman's car and just stares, and then when they're done vacuuming, he'll slip back out and pretend he's working on his own car right next door, or he's cleaning a tire or something. But several women caught him in the act, and then they had to go in and they look at the surveillance cameras, and sure enough, a woman would pull up, get out of her car, she'd be vacuuming her own car, and dude on the other side of her car would climb under. I mean, a lot of cars, it's not easy to roll up under a car, is it?
No, it's not. And it sounds like a good way to get run over, especially if they catch you under there. Can you get out in time? Because the woman I know would just get in and put her in reverse and slam on it. This is a little bit of the news, very little bit, and then one of the victims.
If another customer at the car wash didn't notice and then track her down to tell her.
I have felt very violated, and I have been having nightmares. The victims had flip-flops and shorts on. That's what we all had in common.
Well, yeah, you wanted to see your feet.
The flip-flop, huh?
Nothing wrong with checking out a foot. I mean, I I like an attractive woman's foot. I don't know that it's a foot fetish. I don't go all the way, but I do like to check it out. But this guy has been arrested in Nebraska, other states for doing this, and he's kind of a toucher. He's licked and touched.
Okay, that's an entirely different. Okay.
Gross.
Observing and admiring a foot as it walks past you in just downtown traffic, that's one thing. That's a sidewalk. But climbing under a car to get a straight up view, no, thank you. If the car is put into reverse and drags your ass across the parking lot, I think you got what was coming your way.
Exactly.
Wouldn't it be easier just to hang out a DSW?
You would think, dude, go sell women's shoes.
Right. What a dream.
And the sandal department. Now, Ryder, when women try on sandals, do they try on sandals and that kind of stuff? The open
I don't know. I think you're asking the wrong person.
I don't know.
No, they give you
Tony,
those.
Well, Doc Martin poster child over there, what does she know about sandals?
They give you those little nylon socks that you put on. So it is definitely see-through.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It might be good until he goes all Al Bundy and then just hates women from putting shoes on their feet.
I realized I just said a terribly irresponsible thing. I was like, dude, go sell women's shoes. No, actually don't. I'm sorry. I don't want to subject women to now every guy that's helping you with shoes. Oh my God. What does this possibly mean? It's bad enough that you're under a car and you're looking. The idea of reaching out and touching, now that will give you some nightmares because that goes right back to childhood when someone says there's a monster under your bed and if you put your foot on the floor it'll grab your foot. We've all have that, but boy, if I'm at the car wash and someone grabs my foot, I'm leaping. I'm clearing a 9-foot high jump bar. Yeah, that's the last place you expect a hand to come out of your own vehicle.
I mean, unless it was an attractive woman. I'd be like, look at you.
She was so attractive until I stomped her face upon landing. Damn, too bad for that.
Oh, I'm just remembering now. Many years ago, a friend of mine, a teenage daughter, came home. He calls me up. He's like, dude, what would you do about this? And I'm like, why are you not at the shoe store? And he went down there, and they go, oh, yeah, we already fired him. His teenage daughter comes home and says, I'm trying on shoes, and the guy would take off the shoe and put my foot on his crotch while he grabbed another shoe to put it on. It was just like he was resting it there. And then he was kind of like rubbing my foot I was like, dude, I'll meet you there. I did not meet him there, but he fired out to the mall that day that it happened. And they said, oh, no, we've already let him go.
Oh,
like, let him
weird.
go. He should be, in jail.
That's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem there. But I mean, the foot. I don't like that. It's podophilia. Podophilia? It's a little close, isn't
Pedophilia?
it? No. It's called podophilia.
Okay. Podiatrist, a foot doctor.
Oh, I gotcha.
That's a little close to pedophilia,
Yeah, no, that's a
You've been diagnosed with podophilia. He said podophilia.
Podo. He's a podo.
He's a podo.
Weird.
Whereas I would have thought, if you said, oh, that guy's a podo, I would have thought, oh, he just likes potting plants.
Yeah.
That's what comes to mind.
According to a study out of the University of Bologna in Italy, Bologna, it's the number one fetish in the world. Foot fetish.
Really?
According to a global survey.
Wow.
Yeah, people dig the feet. I'll tell you what, I like a nice foot. And so I remember being in a relationship with a gal, and she had this beautiful foot, and I would rub her feet all the time. And then I made the mistake of telling her, I really love your feet. And then it was like weird. Well, now it's weird. She wouldn't let me get onto the foot thing anymore.
Really? I dated a dude who was into feet and loved giving me foot rubs, and I just milked it.
Right?
I was like, bring it on.
Good foot rub, yeah.
Sure. I mean, there's foot rubs and then there's foot rubs. It all comes back to Tarantino.
Turns out she had a busting my balls fetish. If you've ever had that.
That's weird, because I dated a girl who had a brushing my balls fetish, and that's a whole different thing. That's a conversation for another day. But yeah, man, there was. She's amazing. I never knew brushes could be made so soft.
Oh.
I think it was actually, what was it? It was the hair of an ibex from the Tibetan mountainside.
Well, that's the only way to go.
That brush, and it was just so. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's so nice.
I mean, it turned me into a rat 20 times a day. If you find yourself in Sussex, the south of England, specifically at the Royal Sussex Hospital in Brighton. Hi, Royal Sussex Hospital in Brighton, mate. Welcome. Don't go there. Just just go somewhere else, because they clearly have got a little something going on. Some reports now trying to figure out what's happening again at the Royal Sussex Hospital in Brighton. It all started when there was an emergency surgery performed. Now, the patient survived and was turned out to be okay. He had his chest opened up in an emergency procedure.
Damn.
The surgeon couldn't find, in his own words, a sterile scalpel, so he used his personal, right out of his pocket, Swiss Army penknife.
I thought this is in a hospital. He couldn't find a sterile.
In a hospital.
Whips out the old jackknife, huh?
The surgeon has not been named, but there's a serious report. They said he was struggling to find the scalpel. He pulled out his Swiss Army knife, where he said upon an interview, "Well, I normally use that to cut the fruit for my lunch."
Oh, my. This is what the...
The patient did survive. Internal documents showed that the surgeon's colleagues felt his behavior was, quote, questionable. That's such a British way for saying reprehensible. Well, that's questionable. So the same surgeon, it was determined, carried out 3 supposedly low-risk operations in the prior 8 weeks, where all 3 patients had died soon thereafter.
Now it's getting serious.
Because they were probably full of germs from the penknife. This is apparently not the first time he's gone to the penknife.
You know, here in the good old States, on the TV shows anyway, I noticed that they have a nurse or operating assistant of some sort there handing the sterilized scalpel to the surgeon. They're not
just a bunch of nurse ratchets,
or there to grab his wrist when he goes into his pocket for his jackknife.
I don't like the look of this man. He doesn't get the sterilized instruments. My decision is final.
God, psycho.
I don't know. And then here's my other favorite medical story of the day. A 7-year-old Chinese boy has been complaining for 2 years. Now think about this. When you're 7 and you file an official complaint with your parents at 5 and they don't deal with it till you're 7, that's like 100 years. Yeah. A 5-year-old and then a 6-year-old and then you're 7, and this was his complaint. Things just smell bad. Everywhere I go, I have a bad smell. And his parents are like, okay, well, deal with it, kid.
Yeah,
2 years.
Clean up your room.
2 years, the kid's been walking around with a bad smell. So, I just picture a kid. He looks like he's got a little, Robin Williams said Queen Elizabeth always looks like she has a little dog poop on her upper lip. That smell, that face. 2 years, they could never figure out what it was. They couldn't smell what it was. The 7-year-old was unable to describe the smell. His parents decided, it's just making this up. This is make-believe. Because, that's what kids do. They carry around a 2-year-long bad smell make-believe. It started getting worse. They finally took him to a doctor. They examined his nostrils and were like, he's got a screw stuck in his left nostril.
Oh, my gosh.
A metal screw. Been up there for over 2 years.
Well, it was his
rusty.
fault.
There's a mysterious black mass in his nose. The first thing you do when your kid is telling you everything smells bad, look up the nose.
Right.
I just assume there's something up there.
Feel free to throw that piece of information in there. Things smell bad. Oh, and by the way, I put a screw up my nose.
Well, there is that. To me, parenting toddlers is just a series of checking holes in their body for stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to go somewhere. Right. They're going to put it in their mouth. They're going to put it in their nose. They're going to put it in their ear. They're going to put it up their butt. Real simple.
Check all the holes before they put them to bed at night.
Yeah. There's 2 dice with this game. There's only 1 die here. Where is it? Roll them over.
Yeah.
Let's take a look. That's just where stuff goes. And speaking of putting things up your 6.
Huh?
All right.
I'm making the leap. At a music festival, in England, 2 gentlemen were found trying to sneak in some drugs. That's kind of a common thing. You're going to go out to a festival. You're going to rage. Yeah. It's an EDM festival, and you're thinking, it might get more fun. This is in England. What would make it more fun is if we brought in some ketamine. Yeah. Some ketamine. So they brought in some ketamine. 2 gentlemen. They brought in ketamine that they placed into Kinder eggs. You familiar with Kinder eggs?
I've heard of them.
It's like a German, like a toy. It's a treat. It's a chocolate egg, but there's a toy in the middle, and it comes. Right. It's just like the size. It's like a smaller egg. It looks just like a real egg, but it's a little smaller than, say, an egg you'd buy at the store.
Okay.
Only a little smaller. They had 2 Kinder eggs filled with ketamine, and they had them stuffed up the bums, as they say.
That's one way to get the job done.
And if you're going to a music festival, you got to be thinking, well, there's no way they're going to find these.
Yeah.
They didn't expect to see sniffer dogs at the gates.
Oh, what a lousy job. I want to be the bomb dog, not the sniffer dog that has to sniff people's butts.
Man, no kidding.
Drugs? Are you kidding
No
me?
kidding.
The bomb dog comes with its own.
Bomb dog's got his own situation, but the sniffer dog for drugs, you're just harshing people's mellow left and right. You're just sorry, man. I'm ruining your day.
Let them have their freaking drugs at the thing. They're not going in there to sell them to kids on the street. They're just going in there to try and kill themselves.
And I mean, the name of the festival, it's a festival called the Daresbury Music Festival. Dare is it's the first part of the word, dare. Yeah. I dare you to put Kinder eggs filled with ketamine up your six. Yeah, dare accepted. Let's go.
Derriere, Dingleberry, Daresbury.
There's a double dog joke in there somewhere on the dare. I can't quite get my head around it just yet.
They had to pull the Kinder eggs out of the...
They pulled the Kinder eggs out, and
that would be the embarrassing part. Can we get that out?
Of course it would be.
Give us a little push.
If I'm going to be busted at a music festival by a German Shepherd sniffing around, I want to, you just, hopefully it's a bag filled with white powder. Yeah. That looks cool. Or it's a pipe. A Kinder egg up my six.
And then
really, it's full of drugs, I swear. Really? It just, And
then after that, you have to suffer the humiliation sober.
Yeah, of course.
One of the more clever ones that I've heard from some young folks here recently was a lot of these outdoor festivals, it's dirt, it's ground, it's grass, it's whatever. Think of Somerset or something out like that. Yeah. And they wanted their drugs inside. So they went there when the venue was empty. A couple of weeks earlier.
Yeah, right.
Something, and buried it in the ground.
Yep.
Yeah, and then came back for it.
That's brilliant.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one. I was like, how did we not? I thought we thought of everything.
I know of a festival down south where the exact same thing happens every year. I know people who go, they don't bring their drugs, they just bring bottles of booze and they bury it 4-6 weeks before the festival. It's in a public park and they just go find a spot. Yeah. And then
I'm impressed.
And then they got their hooch waiting for them.
Hot damn.
Yeah, those people are called alcoholics.
It's awfully embarrassing when Chauncey gets here in the morning and digs up my booze in the parking
lot. Oh, we've all got our little quirks. People are indeed strange, and we will prove it to you. With hockey tickets. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zepp, Tony, and Ryder on Minnesota's classic rock 92 KQRS.
Check this out. The Minnesota Wild are playing the Seattle Kraken Saturday at the XL Energy Center, and we want to give away a couple tickets right now. So we need two callers 9 and 2, in fact, on the KQ Talk and Text line 651-989-ROCK. You can compete and win hockey tickets. 651-989-ROCK. We need callers 9 and 2. Get on the horn. And that includes anybody who may be listening up in St. Michael.
Especially St. Michael.
Come on, St. Michael. Get in there.
I wonder if the corner bar is open anymore. I don't know. That was a bar. That's been so many years since I've been up there, but that bar goes back to the late 1800s.
Oh, really?
Like 1890-something. It was just one of the great old-time dive bars in the entire Midwest. But I think I heard that it closed down during the pandemic or something. I'm not sure.
I don't know. St. Michael is the patron saint of an awful lot of folks. Banking, grocers, and the police. That's a pretty heady mix.
All right, rock and roll.
Soldiers and warriors, anybody who works in a dangerous condition, St. Michael's your guy.
I'm pretty sure Bill Osborne is calling me right now with information about St. Michael's Corner Bar.
Unfun fact, did permanently close during the pandemic.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
Well, they were talking about tearing it down.
I think it was maybe a little bit before. January 2020? Yeah. So.
If we ever switch studio, we should set up new studios there at the old Corner Bar building.
Yes.
I
like that plan.
Yeah, man.
As long as the taps are still in.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's just a stone's throw to the old outlet malls up there. It'll be great.
Why not?
Oh, why not? So as we're lining up a couple of callers, I still have to get my head around the fact that it's already hockey season.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, here it is.
October 8th, we have a game Thursday night opener and then another one Saturday. Wow. That means it's already darker sooner. I mean, it's already chilly at night. All these things are happening. I'm aware of all of them. None of it's surprising, and yet here I am sort of gobsmacked.
Yeah, right. And we're stoked for the Wild season. You don't know what to expect from this team.
It's going to be 80 on Thursday during the hockey opener, though, and that's messing with my brain, too.
Yeah, a little bit, but it won't be 80, and I guess it will probably be. It'll be comfortable 72. Go down and slide on the ice.
Okay.
Jump
It'll
over
be
the glass.
nice and cool inside the XL Energy Center, and that's all that matters, baby.
Beer will be cold.
We got a couple of callers locked and loaded. Tony, my goodness, what on earth is in that twisted, addled, creative mind of yours?
For crying out loud, we have to get some relief and get this out for people to play. Yeah, people are strange. Well, including us in a very, very big way. The four of us, we're going to share a brief example about ourselves that makes us strange, our quirks, our pure bizarreness. Then you, dear listener, have to guess if our example of strangeness is genuine and true, or if it's just made up. Real or fake? Are we really that strange?
I like it. All right, let's dive in. Tony, who's contestant number one?
Our first buddy is Brian from Roberts, Wisco.
Brian, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Brian, give me your favorite band.
The Sticks.
The Sticks. The definite article, the. I like that.
I grew up, I think.
Brian, give me your favorite team, any sport.
It's got to be the Vikings.
Oh, fair enough. I appreciate that. 5-0 feels pretty good, does it not? All right, Brian, here's how it works. The four of us are all going to give you some information about ourselves, and you determine if it's true or not. How weird are we? And I'm going to let Tony Lee kick us off.
All right. Brian, we have a family dartboard that I label with different routes to drive to work. I toss a dart every morning to choose a way to drive to work to avoid the monotony. Do you think I do that? Is that true or false?
I would have to say false.
That is correct. That's just purely bizarre.
Man, I wanted that to be true.
I know.
Golly. All right, Ryder, let's have it.
Okay, I know when we all see former New England Patriot Julian Edelman, we think snack, because that is true.
We is a mighty big word.
Yeah.
But he just unveiled a new product he's calling a salsa cereal, where you take the chip crumbs and you put them in the salsa. Now, I have actually been doing this for decades. I tried to get a patent and was denied. True or false?
I would have to go false again.
That is false. Yeah, I didn't apply for I do the cereal salsa thing, but I did not apply for the patent.
That's very close to, the Tostitos.
Kind of sounds good, though.
Cheese goo, the cheese goo, I forget what it's called,
Cheese whiz.
Cheese whiz. Take the
queso
Doritos, the crumbs from the Doritos and dump it in there and get a spoon out. You're damn straight.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. All right, Zepp, lay it on him.
All right, Brian, I have a foot fetish so bad that I often crawl under cars at a car wash to see women's feet and flip-flops.
That was just on this morning, so I would have to say false.
Yeah, I was just checking it. Wow. And being a little lazy. Sorry.
Man, making sure you're paying attention. All right, you're 3 for 3, Brian. Very well played, sir. All right, here we go. I love to read. I've read a lot of books over the years, and if I'm reading a fictional work, a novel, like say a John Irving book or Michael Chabon, I not every time, but more often than not, I will read the last few pages of a book early in the process just so I know what to expect.
I would have to say I agree with that.
Not a chance in hell, brother. No way. But I know someone who does.
Oh, you
do? And I dislike them intensely every time I think about it.
I've done it with a couple of Stephen King books where I'm just like, I'm not reading all 600 pages of this.
Yeah.
So halfway through the book, I'll just jump to the last chapter.
Oh, God. Billy Crystal did that when Harry Met Sally.
Yeah, that's right.
Said I have a dark side.
Yeah, I have a friend who does that. Literally, I'm like, would you? Oh my God, that's anyway. Brian, 3 for 4 is a very strong effort, though, my man. Well played. We're going to stick you on hold for a quick second. We're going to go on to contestant number 2. Tony, who do we have?
Our buddy Brett from Minneapolis.
Brett, good morning.
Morning.
Brett, give me your favorite band.
Oh, it'd have to be CCR, baby.
CCR, I like it. Give me your favorite team, any sport.
Minnesota Vikings.
Attaboy.
Right on.
5-0. All right, Brett, we're ready to.
Does that feel good?
Oh, it felt great. What are you kidding? Oh, Nelly. Oh, my. Could have been a fumble. Don't get me started. I'll go Keith Jackson all day. All right, Brett, you are ready to play. Tony, you're weird as hell. Let's see if you're telling the truth about this one.
I am. Brett, I had wall-to-wall ceiling carpet in my room growing up. I needed muffled sound. I was kind of scared of echoes, that horror movie sound. So even my ceiling was carpeted.
I'm going to have to go with false.
Yeah, that's just weird.
You should see the looks on our faces as we're all like, please be false. Oh, poor Tony. Please not be real. We never know what to expect.
Oh, you're so comfortable in a radio studio.
All right, good start, Brett. Ryder?
Okay, here we go. So when I'm traveling, I will go up to the counter and switch seats to make sure on a plane or a train I am in an even numbered row so that when walking to my seat, my right foot hits the ground as I'm getting in the seat. True or false?
Wow.
I'm going to have to say false.
False is correct. I can't do that kind of math, especially when I'm traveling.
It's complicated.
Let me tell you, as a former significant OCD sufferer, that one got me.
Oh, wow.
Steve's thinking about it.
Oh,
now.
I've done some step counting in my day as a younger man. Happy to say that doesn't happen anymore.
You know?
All right, Brett, Brian's got one for you.
Keeping it short and sweet here. I wear 2 watches, one on each wrist.
Sorry, what was that?
I wear 2 watches, one on each wrist every day.
I'm going to have to say false.
Yeah, false. Yeah.
False.
Just making stuff up today, aren't we?
I was trying to peek over in the other studio to see if I was trying to he had me for a sec.
No, those are Wonder Woman bracelets.
Go ahead and try and shoot me. Try. I dare you. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, nice rack. Okay, Brett, here we go. Every time I get into my car, no matter if it's the next day or 5 minutes later, even though I'm the only one who drives my car, I adjust all 3 mirrors. I never leave them as they were last time. It's almost as if I just somehow don't trust my previous settings.
That sounds like true to me.
That is absolutely true.
Is it?
Always. Always. I
you
always,
never know.
and I just do it. It's a thing. I don't, if I forget to, I don't get wound up, but I just love to just double, triple check. I just like, different spot. Maybe it looks a little different. Brett, that's correct. And sir, you just ran the table 4 for 4. Brett had his thumb on the pulse of our weirdness.
He gets us.
Brian, 3 for 4 is usually a winner around here, but you hit the wall of truth telling that is Brett. Brett, you've got tickets, brother. Let's see, that is this Sunday against the Seattle Kraken, Minnesota Wild at the XL Energy Center. Gentlemen, thank you both for playing. Congrats, Brett.
Yeah, thank you guys.
You got it.
Thanks, guys. This is going to drive you crazy. I can't wait to tell you this, actually.
Okay.
I got a new truck last year.
Really?
Still haven't adjusted the mirrors.
Oh, you are a bad man.
Don't even look in them.
They're close enough.
They're close enough.
Close enough.
Well, those mirrors are so big, it's hard. They got to. You know what I mean? It's like they're like the size of. It's like an old Texas belt buckle for a mirror. You know,
when
it's
you
like,
borrow someone's car, do you adjust their mirrors?
Depends on how far I'm going.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. If I drop a car off like at a car wash, or if I bring it to the, you get the maintenance and you get it back, if the mirrors have been adjusted, I'm just like, what are you kidding me? And I've said that, and Rosemary goes, you do it to yourself. I'm like, yeah, but that's me.
Yeah, you're not getting an oil change somewhere where the guy has to pull it out into the parking lot.
This is someone. Hey, listen, man, it's the little things that keep us fresh, that remind us of who we really are.
Yeah.
I think it's good to check in with yourself. It's good to find. Self-awareness is key in any part of your life. And if you are afraid to ask yourself, is it weird that well, then you got problems. Thankfully, we have a little insight into what we're concerned about. Google will let us know. Is it weird? Because we've got the details. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Steve Miller with the ultimate quick fade on that one. Always. It's like, yeah, this song's got played. It's over. Ah. He just does that to mess with you.
Damn picker.
Old Steve. He's so funny like that. He's a weirdo. Or maybe he's not. I don't really know much about Steve Miller personally. Of course, when he went into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, we all found out what a surly cuss he could be. I agreed with everything he had to say, but, still, it was like shocking. It was kind of shocking. Do you do stuff? Are you concerned at all that you might be a little weird? Do you have quirks? Do you have little things you do and you have to ask yourself, wait, hang on, is this weird? Is it weird that I sniff my fingertips 36 times a day? I mean, I'm just saying, that might be your thing.
Yeah.
It might be someone else's thing. Let us know on the KQ Talking text line, 651-989-ROCK. And it could be something you do. It could be something that someone you know. We're not asking you to come here and rip open yourself and expose your most embarrassing, potentially weird thing. Yeah. But just share if you've ever had that thought. And plenty of people are wondering if it's weird, some of the things they do. Google has released the top "Is it weird that I?" questions, which we appreciate Google for doing this, for possibly exposing all of us. But this year's list is kind of strange because there's a little bit of a theme to it. But I'll start with this one. Is it weird that I like to go? Is it weird, I should say, to go to a bar alone?
No.
No. That's the unweirdest thing imaginable to me.
I mean, it's unfortunate when you go home alone, but
sure. No, but there's time. You want to get a drink. You want to go look at the game. You want to chat up a stranger and talk about the Vikings. It's go into a bar, sit there. That's not weird, is it?
I love it, especially the dive bars. Minnesota is the king of dive bars in my limited travel around the planet. I love to go to a dive bar, just post up and just start chatting it up with folk.
I'm with you 100%. I love nothing more than, even if I order some takeout, like me and Rosemary will sit around and, right around the corner, Ray J's, they got great wings. They got all this good, great bar food. Order to go. I'll run in there to pick it up, and I'll sit at the bar, and before I know it, I'm just talking to somebody, and then guy brings me my food. Good to see you. You leave, and I don't think twice about it.
Or not. Or you don't have to talk to anybody. That's the beauty of it. When you go there with a group of friends, you have to participate. Zep's being quiet. He's in one of his moods again.
Apparently so.
But otherwise, you're just either you're the just dude sitting there to get drunk or whatever, the quiet guy at the bar, or you're socializing. Yeah, I like to go into a bar alone.
Here's another one. Is it weird to talk to yourself? Let me just jump right in and go, I hope not.
No, everybody does.
My God, I talk to myself all the time.
Yeah, the least I talk is during the morning show. Yep. The rest of the day. And I spend
That's horrifying.
So true, though.
I spend most of my days alone, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm just chatting up a storm, just blah, 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 blah. Somebody said when they want to watch their dog, they go, he likes to be talked to. I'm like, he'll be talked to. Don't you worry about that.
I have always talked to myself. I work through my thoughts. Like if I'm processing, whatever I'm thinking about, I'll just do it. One of my older brothers, when I was a kid, called me out for it. He's like, "You're always talking to yourself." He goes, "Well, if you're going to do it in public, at least act like you're singing." It doesn't look. If you're walking around, I'm like, what? So I'm supposed to walk around like singing? I just gotta get a message to you. I'm supposed to be. It goes just if someone calls you out on it, just that's your answer. No, I was singing. I'm like, why don't I just say I was talking to myself?
Whenever you do you ever find yourself using accents?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, okay. This guy over here.
I'm trying to have a conversation, not a monologue.
Although I know this has happened to you guys. I can't be the only one that when you are kind of mumbling to yourself, because I do that out in public. Not if I'm in a crowded area, but I was just cruising through the parking lot, like blah, 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 blah. And then I'll see someone out of the corner of my eye and turn it into a song. Blah, 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 da, 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 da. I'm just singing. Yeah. I'm just singing. No, I'm not talking to myself.
It's like the old, when the teacher says, "Are you asleep?" You just lift your head off your desk and say, "Amen." You just gotta, you gotta do something. No, anything but what's actually happening. Boy, we're really concerned about doing things alone. Another one on the list. Is it weird to go to the movies alone?
No. Love going to the movies alone. So much better than going with other people.
Yeah.
Me too, but the first time I did it, I felt strange.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was a weird and unique thing. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to a movie by myself.
Tony, I appreciate that answer and I can relate. However, Ryder going Full Metal Jacket. No, way better than going with other people. What the hell happens to you? What happened to you at a movie with other people?
I got a buddy who used to, it would just be the two of us in the theater because we were working the early morning show, and he would try and talk to me during the movie.
Stop it.
Oh, my God. No.
Yes, to the point where I, got up and moved to a different row.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I wouldn't. I didn't allow my kids to talk to me. We'd go see, a Pixar film, and I'd be like, now, when the movie starts, shush.
Yeah.
I am all for silent protocols. And if you're going to get that box of goobers with the plastic, you take that plastic off before the movie starts.
Oh, yeah.
You eat that,
Oh,
and then
the worst.
anything crunchy, right? Eat it during the action scenes.
Right.
I don't have that. I don't have that thing where sounds can drive me crazy. I can't think of the name of it, but I'm married to it. But but certain sounds and tones, it can just overwhelm people. It's a very real thing. I don't have it generally unless it's in a place where it's supposed to be quiet.
Yeah.
You can come up to me at a bar with a chainsaw. I don't care. But if I'm in a movie theater, yeah. When I'm in a theater and someone's shaking their cup to get the ice to go out of the way of the straw or whatever, it's my worst. I have a handful of pet peeves. That's by far my worst, is the movie theater protocol thing.
Do you do the obvious glare where you I overturn and face them? And
if I'm in a good mood. I berated a woman. I kid you not. She was every bit of 75 years old, and I got right in it. I was... it's the Ice Storm, the movie The Ice Storm from the late 90s.
Okay.
Sigourney Weaver and the other guy who's good, Kevin Kline, and Ang Lee directed it. It's a great movie.
Okay.
It's 1970s Connecticut, suburb of New York City, ennui. It's a lot of fun. But there's a scene. There's a scene in the movie where all the adults, the swinging 70s, these young parents, they're all having a party, cocktail party, and it's a key party. It's a key party where everyone puts their keys into a bowl, and at the end of the night, everyone draws a key, and whoever you pick, you go home with that person. It's for miserably married couples to have a swingers night.
Yeah.
And it's in the context of the film, it's a pretty dramatic moment as you're like, holy crap, are they actually going to do this? And Kevin Kline's wife looks at him and goes, you know what I think? I think you have a marker. Meaning, I think you've marked your keys so that Sigourney Weaver knows those are yours.
I would if Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, you and me both. But here's what it sounded like to me in the theater. You know what I think? I think you have a marker. And right behind me, full voice, old woman, what's a marker?
Shut up.
And she had already been yapping to her husband. And that was when I snapped. And I turned around. And it looked like Lovey Howell behind me. It was an older woman. And the theater's packed. It was so sold out that we were in the fourth row. I don't like to be up front, but we had no options.
Yeah.
And I turned around and looked at her, and she looked at me, and I go, are you talking to me? And she said, no. I said, well, then why can't I hear you? And my wife wanted to murder me. And I was like...
sliding down in her chair.
And then her husband's looking at me, and I looked at him.
Mister.
I glared him off. Dude, I will fight.
Yeah.
I have some problems. There's no question about it. Anyway, all that to say, 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talk and Text line. Tony, who's on the horn?
Our friend Jesse has a quirk.
Jesse, good morning.
Yup.
Yup. Jesse, what have you got for us, my man?
Well, I like to put on chapstick about 100 times a day because I like to talk.
Yeah, I know these people. Yeah,
I'm
constantly looking for it. Let me guess, you have 500 things of chapstick, but you can't ever find one.
I have no clue. Sometimes they're in my pocket, sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite flavor?
Cherry.
Do you ever, Jesse, do you ever share your chapstick?
Lost you, Jesse.
Yeah, he's down in Mexico these days.
He ain't got time to bleed.
It's
been a while.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, good to hear from Jess.
You know what? That's I can get behind that. You get into the chapstick. They say it's a slippery slope, the chapstick slope.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Susie Chapstick out there.
Yeah, it is.
She was cute.
Yeah, hey, that's pretty good. That's pretty solid effort, actually. Like for a split second, I was like, that sounds, I get it. All right, fair enough. How about this? Why are we so concerned? Again, back to Google's list. Is it weird to go to a concert alone?
No.
My daughter Marta Gorman goes to see 3 shows a month.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a conservative estimate. Bands, and she goes to see clubs, theaters, arenas, whatever. She loves live music. And more often than not, she's by herself. Yeah. And she loves it. She has the best time, meets new people, meets fans of new bands. She's got friends all over the country that she's met at concerts. Yeah. Like, oh, what are you doing here? Like, I'm in from so-and-so, and I love this band. And then all of a sudden, she's got new buddies all over the place.
Nice. Absolutely. Either way, man, I like pre-gaming too and going with some people and having some fun, but absolutely love seeing music by myself. More than movies, I find. People love to chat with you at concerts, which drives me crazy. I mean, it's
because you can't hear them half the time, even between sets.
Yeah, I love going to bars to see bands. My favorite thing to do now. I've seen a gazillion arena shows. Very fortunate. That's been fun. But I really just love to go to bars. The Bagmen over at the Turf Club. Fantastic show. Some friends come over. Blop, 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 blop. I'm like, the band's actually playing right now. Yeah, we were doing the whole thing downstairs in the Clown Lounge, and then there was the smoke break outside. But now you're blop, 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 blop. Look at there. Steve's just hitting the drums up there. Let's go ahead and feel free to listen.
Yeah, no, your friends are assholes. I was so upset. I was like, I am up here hitting the drums, as Brian just said. You're supposed to be paying attention to me. Yeah. How dare you have your own agenda for this night's activities? I'm trying to think of the last time I go to gigs. I mean, plenty of times. Like, I think big concerts, like the big arena show or whatever, there's almost always somebody. Yeah. But going down the street to a club to see a band, either that, all of your friends have seen enough or they don't care about, or you just hear, someone says, oh, these guys are supposed to be good. I really, really love standing. Like, if you're at the Turf Club, I want to be 20, 30 feet back, right in the middle, all alone, blocking someone else's view and taking it in without the possibility of being interrupted. Nothing better than than enjoying a gig by myself.
That's where you really dig it. I mean, what is weird to do alone, I think? Because all these things we like to do alone, I think it's totally appropriate to do alone. A little weird to dance alone. People do it, and I give them all the credit in the world. There's some sort of a poster out there, isn't there? Dance like no one's watching, or something like that. I forget what it is.
Yeah, dance like no one's watching.
Yeah, I can sit there and bob along, but to get out on a dance floor and dance alone, that's always felt weird.
It's weird when women do it. It's kind of charming. If a guy does it, they look psycho.
Yeah.
No, you're trying to get attention.
Yeah, you're right. When a guy's creepy when he does it, because then he gets close to the 5 women dancing alone, and they just huddle up closer together like they do in nature to try and keep them out.
Creepy or overserved is usually when that happens.
That's pretty true. Unless, of course, everybody's on X or you're at a legitimate discotheque with a QUE in there at the end, and then it's all fine. But if you're shrooming like a beast, then these things kind of go right out the window. Is it weird that a lot of young mothers have taken to microdosing psilocybin mushrooms? Is that weird? Because a lot of young moms are. Apparently, this is a thing. A lot of women, I mean, God bless, they're just overwhelmed with parenthood, young toddlers, a lot of pressure involved in that. A lot of women say they feel like their brains are foggy, and there's a bit of a movement going on, an undercurrent to microdosing psilocybin while parenting toddlers. Like, you just do just enough. It's just to take the edge off. It's not to go trip balls. It's not to go trip anything. But there's a very strong contingent, a movement, if you will. Society is going, no, microdosing seems to be the answer to everything these days. You find that a little strange?
A little strange, but I'm not a microdoser. I've got to try this microdosing thing, this thing where you take just a little, just to change your mood or your environment a bit. This may shock you guys, but I tend to be an overserved kind of guy, whether it be psilocybin or whatever,
Mashed potatoes.
Don't know when to stop mashed potatoes, especially yesterday when Lunds got the pork chops with the mashed potatoes and gravy and the dressing. Did I get 1 portion? No, I got 3 portions.
Oh, you weirdo.
So I had something to eat today, but guess what's not available to me today? The 3 portions I ate yesterday.
That's right.
I overserved myself. But getting back to this, I have a buddy that does this, and he's like, no, seriously. He takes mushrooms and he makes them into his own capsules.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And he goes, you just take one or two of these. He goes, and they don't do anything. I said, then why the hell are you taking them? He goes, well, they do something.
They something.
Change your mood, and they're using it to treat depression.
Yep,
effectively.
they
I think
are.
they have been for years in a lot of places. That's why they're talking about legalizing it here in Minnesota. But
even our kids are 23 months apart, so I mean that's just under 2 years. Yeah. So there was a good little tunnel there where it was like toddler and a baby, and then still two toddlers, and then a toddler and a kid, and then two kids.
Yeah.
But up through 4 and 6, 5 and 7, you still have to be very aware at all times of what your kids are getting into. And the slightest taking the edge off would not have worked for me. And I mean, if I've a mushroom microdose to me, I would have been the guy. I think like literally going like the baby's crying and. That sounds like an eagle screech, and I love America more than ever right now. I mean, that's where I would go, microdosing mushrooms. Yeah. Look at Marley. She looks like a bald eagle. I love the Constitution. I mean, it really is like I would be the guy with two kids looking at them going, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit actually have names. Eric Clapton, Jack Bruce, and Ginger Baker. Now, this is White Room. I'd just be like, "What, Dad, my diaper's dirty." Yeah. The laundry has thoughts.
Maybe the kids need to microdose to put up with you.
This washing machine understands real love, son. Don't shroom me and leave me in charge of your kids, man. It's gonna go sideways. I didn't know babies could fly. It's gonna get bad real fast.
This goes back to the Rolling Stones' Mother's Little Helper.
Yeah,
and the whole
sure,
thing
that's right.
In the pill culture that came as the post-World War II culture here in the United States. We lay it on women, but it's the stay-at-home parent.
Sure.
That does this, that tries to find a way to get through the day to manage the stress.
I'm going to recommend mushrooms over barbiturates, though, every time.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just going to go ahead and say that. That Mother's Little Helper back in the day, they'd give you one to go up and they'd give you something to come down. And I guess just a microdose is going to work. Hey, the Scorpions, the German legends, the Scorpions, are returning to Las Vegas. Coming home to Las Vegas, 60 years of the Scorpions residency, opening February 27th at Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino. You can score a trip for two with round-trip air, a 2-night stay, tickets to opening night, and more. Text the national keyword RHYTHM for 95819 right now for a chance to win. Text the word RHYTHM to 95819. Is it weird that I can't spell rhythm? I always take a minute.
That one, huh?
RHYTHM. I have to. If I type rhythm, it's never right. If I write it, I have to stop and think. It's a little strange.
It's odd for a drummer.
You would think. Top 5 at 9. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. You're listening to the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zepp, Tony, and Ryder on 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Good Tuesday morning. It is October the 8th. You probably already knew that. But we got a few things you probably don't know, and that is what you need to know to get your day off in the right direction. Here's your top 5 at 9. Let's get to it. If you, like me and Zepp and Tony and Ryder on occasion, buy a lottery ticket or two, Mega Millions ticket prices are about to jump considerably. Next April, Mega Millions tickets will jump up to $5 a piece.
And why did they say they're doing this? Just to gouge us a bit. I mean, it's fewer tickets to check, I guess.
Because we're suckers. I don't know. Right now, you can get a $2 Mega Millions, or you can get the $3 with the Mega Plier. If you get the $3 and you don't win the jackpot, but you win something, then you have more winnings. Like, say you buy a ticket and you win $10. If you paid $3 for that ticket as opposed to $2, then there's a number by which that is multiplied. So your $10 winner will be either 20, 30, 40, or 50, depending on 1 through 5 Mega Plier.
Someone in Edina, just in the last week or two, won $2 million with the Mega Plier.
Yeah, they won $1 million, but because they paid the extra dollar, it was $2 million. That's exactly right. Well, now there's no more Mega Plier. Every ticket has a bonus attached to it. It's a $5 ticket, and the Mega Plier is anywhere from 1 to 10 or 2 to 10 times that amount. But long story short, I've always got, you always got a dollar bill and 4 quarters laying around for a lottery ticket. What the hell? But a $5 bill, that just changes everything to me.
Yeah,
changes the fact that I'm going to feel even worse about myself when I still buy lottery tickets.
I know it. I'm going to do it too, but I'll buy fewer. I mean, I know that. And I'll often go in and, I allot myself 10 or maybe I'll go for the 20, if it gets big, which means you have absolutely zero and not quite a chance of winning, but $5. All right.
Here's a quote from the lead director of the Mega Millions Consortium, as it's called. That's just like a star chamber.
Yeah.
We are creating a game that both our existing players and people new to Mega Millions will love and get excited about. We expect more billion-dollar jackpots than ever before.
Really?
Oh, please. That's all the world needs is more people with billions of dollars. Because the ones we have now are such awesome humans.
I'm going to show you how awesome you can be when I win my billion.
You and me both. I get my billion, you'll never hear from me again. He went totally dark, didn't he? He just disappeared.
I'll be setting up your favorite charity in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All winnings go to it's a fund I started. It's called the Retired Drummers Fund. And the word drummers has an apostrophe before the S.
Yes.
Number 4 in your top 5 at 9. We all spend too much time on our phone. We know this. Our partners, our kids, our friends occasionally look up and there you are going down a rabbit hole, and we all do it, and it's embarrassing. This might be finally what gets us off our phones. Dogs are also noticing and depressed at how much time we spend on our smartphones. Dogs pick up on the fact that you're ignoring them when using your phone. It can add to their anxiety. That anxiety does create dog depression.
Oh, come on. They get depressed when you use the bathroom, for crying out loud. You can't win with but you can always win with a dog.
You can let the dog go into the bathroom with you when you're in there. You can't show the dog this cool, funny tweet because they don't speak English. Chauncey notices it. When I'm walking Chauncey, if my phone rings and I take it, I kid you not. I've said it. I go, that guy can tell when I'm when I'm tuned out of his walk.
He's a stage 5 clinger. How much attention do you need for crying? Get the dog its own phone. It's only a matter of time till they have dog phones. It's called your TV. You leave it on when you...
Oh, sure. Yeah. He's watching the Weather Channel right now at home. He didn't come into work today. He's very concerned about this.
Milton.
Yeah, he is. When you said he's a stage 5 clinger, I thought you meant he could get anything from anyone and he walked around in drag. Number 3 on your top 5 at 9, the coolest thing made in Minnesota. We talked about this last month. There's been a poll. The Minnesota Chamber of Commerce had an online poll. What's the coolest thing made in this state? And we are down to
Taylor or Sydney.
Okay, we are down to the final 4. People are not a part of this poll, I'm sorry to say. The final 4, the finalists are the Action Manufacturing Action Track Chair, which is a badass off-road 4x4 capability wheelchair.
Yeah, this thing, there are going to be people that are perfectly fine.
Yeah.
They can hoof it around. They're going to want one of these. I'm included. I know it's amazing what they do for people that can't get around as well, whether you be elderly and you still want to get out there. Maybe you want to do some bird hunting, this sort of thing. Or whether it be like I experienced with one of our veterans.
Right.
And they take them out there and they even stand them up a little bit if you want to get them in the upright position and do some. But these things get around.
It's just picture a battery-powered wheelchair with tank treads. It can go anywhere. It is awesome. The Midwest Floating Island, innovative national aquarium wetland. The less said about that, the better. Sorry. I mean, I'm sure it's amazing, but that's not cool. That's just informative and educational, and we're bored by that.
Put a golf green on it.
Thank you. It got an island green I can chip balls into and try not to get wet. The third item on the top 4, Red Wing Shoe Company's Beckman boot. It's a stylish looking boot, I gotta say.
I mean, if I was the kind of person that went to a place that was stylish, I was, if I needed. I mean, I wore my Red Wings up to Brainerd Craigan's, get the job done, but they're just your regular old Red Wings. But these are good-looking boots.
Those are good-looking boots. Your fourth finalist, 3M's Scotch Magic Tape. Big winner for me. You know, one thing I do, and I do it here in the building, I didn't have a fidget spinner when I was a kid. I didn't have a thing. I don't like to tap my fingers on things. But if I see a roll of Scotch tape, I will take a 2 or 3 inch strip of it, and then I will just place it between my thumb and forefinger, and I sort of wrap it around and go back and forth with it. I've done that my whole life. It's one little quirk I can't get rid of. I play with Scotch tape.
Oh, that's good. You ever take it and tape your nose up so it looks like you have a pig nose?
Well, sure. Yeah, we've all done that. Yeah, that's fun. Oh yeah, and sometimes I'll manscape with tape, but that's a whole different.
Wow.
Yeah, that's when I need to that's when I feel bad and want to punish myself.
That takes a good pull.
Number 2 on your top 5. There's all sorts of pulling going on. Number 2 on your top 5 at 9. The Minnesota Lynx are in the game. They are in Game 5, the final game of the WNBA semifinals. If they win tonight over Connecticut, they will be in the NBA Finals. And that's pretty exciting. They will face the New York Liberty if they get to the finals. This is a championship caliber team. They've won, I think we said 4 titles already. Yeah. So if you're looking for a possible Minnesota champion, get on the Lynx bandwagon. This is news to me. Better late than never.
Hope these games are well attended. Ryder, you had it this morning. We were talking about it to kick the show off. If you want a championship in Minnesota,
you got to give a crap about women's sports. Yeah. I mean, it's just been even people calling in saying the Vikings are their favorite team. They still sound a little bit down because they've been so tortured for so long. Yeah. But the women get it done. Lynx have 4 championships so far. Your PWHL team has already won the first Walter Cup. So, yeah, if you want that feel good, I want a championship feeling, got to go with the girls are getting stuff done.
I'm down. Go, ladies.
The Minnesota, the women's hockey team, they for next season, they actually have a name, the Minnesota Frost, just as a reminder. Champions all around. Well done, gals. Number 1 on your top 5 at 9 is going to wait, because right now I want to say good morning, Stillwater.
Hey, Stillwater.
Stillwater's a lovely town, man.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It is really nice up there. Hell, I even like the bridge. That if you bypass Stillwater, just the bridge to Wisconsin's an awesome bridge.
Oh, yeah, hop on over there. The Cajun Club, isn't that over there?
Yeah.
I met some ladies from the Cajun Club one time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, but it's a great town. Rosemary and I have spent some time up there. A few visits on our own. Not with KQ business. Just us hanging out and going to a place we like the feel of. It's great.
All my biker buddies like to go in there. PD Pappy's, it's a great place to ride up and down the river. But then every once in a while, you'd go there on a date and you'd wear something completely different and maybe even flip-flops, and you'd be with a gal walking along, and then your biker buddies would come rolling down the street, and you'd quick dive into an antique shop.
Yeah,
hoping they wouldn't see you.
That's called completing the trifecta.
Yeah.
Brushed my hair, put on flip-flops, and I'm in an antique store. Who am I anymore? Number 1 on your top 5 at 9, Minnesota's Psychedelic Medicine Task Force recommends... That's right. Again, Minnesota's Psychedelic Medicine Task Force is recommending that the state decriminalize mushrooms, magic mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms, trippy mushrooms, decriminalize. That will allow people to use them without the fear of getting arrested. They're not suggesting they should make it legal to grow or sell mushrooms, but possession will no longer, if the Psychedelic Medicine Task Force gets their way, possession will no longer be a crime.
Yeah, and the state looked at the task force with that blank stare that my mom would give me when I'd ask for a motorcycle.
Right.
Just not say a word. Are you going to answer me? Just not ignore them. I mean, it's not going to probably happen with any great speed here in Minnesota, but something's happening out there with the whole mushroom thing.
No, there was they had a hearing, and they did present this to the State House, and the representative who was in charge of the questioning, he said, "So, what do you think the single greatest benefit to the state will be if we decriminalize psilocybin?" And he was met with this, just because, like, man, I didn't know it was so colorful in here, and then they decided, well, then we got to do that.
All right, good luck.
Come on.
Come on with those dispensaries.
I'm all. By the way, but we've talked about it a little bit throughout the day. great results with psilocybin in the treatment of depression. And again, it's not they're not blasting people. It's not CIA with LSD in the 50s. Here's a microdose. It's just a no. Yeah, we're not the CIA or Lollapalooza. What's take your pick? No, this is microdoses. This is tiny little amounts, but it's just enough. It will if depression is an iceberg, it just cracks that ice and allows for the split, dissipates a little bit. And with depression treatment, you just need a toehold, and then you can move on day after day and get to a place where you're feeling a lot better about things. In that regard, with medical officials overruling this, again, not just giving people a bag of shrooms, but very controlled doses, they have had across the board and study after study great results. So maybe that's where this is coming from. But at the end of the day, we all know what this means, which is just, people are just going to be tripping balls and going, what are you going to do, arrest me?
Just old age for us is looking fantastic. They're legalizing all this crap finally,
It's time to get that rocking chair and that front porch and just one little nice Bluetooth speaker. Keep it nice and quiet because it'll get louder with every passing minute if you're doing the right shrooms.
I don't care how many kids walk across my lawn.
Listen to that bass line. The number of people who discovered bass on shrooms. I just never paid attention before. I mean, I honestly think John Paul Jones is the most important member of Led Zeppelin.
Well, kind of.
Well, I mean, yeah, we all know that, but we didn't know it till we tripped balls.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show for Tuesday, October the 8th. Bohemian Rhapsody. That'll get your hair standing up on the back of your neck. Zep, your buddy Tony Price is on the horn. Got another Gold Star family ride to talk about.
That's right, Tony. Good morning.
Good morning. Is this the Foot Fetish Hotline?
This is the Foot Fetish Hotline, and we're not interested in your gnarly old feet. Thanks for sticking them in biker boots for us. Tony Price with the Gold Star Family Foundation. That's goldstarride.org. I'm sure most of our listeners know that Gold Star families are the immediate family members of anyone killed in the military. And Tony, going out for your 59th ride dedicated to Gold Star families. If you don't know, Tony rides around the country on his motorcycle. Yeah, that's right. It's October.
That's me. I'm sitting on the bike right now.
I know, in the saddle. You swung by, and then you didn't come in and say hi. I know we've got like 15 security doors here. My DD214 can kick your MBA's ass hat. Thank you very much. I'll wear it with pride. I may not make more money, but my DD214 will kick that MBA's ass anytime. Hey, buddy, tell us about this 59th ride for Gold Star families.
Let me just make this comment. I've been doing this for 6 years now. This is my 59th ride. I've now met 532 Gold Star families, and when you meet that many Gold Star families, there's a tremendous amount of sadness. A tremendous amount of sadness that we have to deal with. So I have to be a smart aleck as much as possible. And that's the explanation of the ride. So today I think I'm doing 577 miles today. I got to stop and see the Gold Star family in southern Illinois, and then another one in southern Ohio, and then I'll stop for the night. Tomorrow I'm going to ride into the Carolinas, and I actually get to take care of Gold Star families that have been ravished by Hurricane Helene.
Yeah. I mean,
and then
easy riding down there, man. We get all sorts of forecasts out of there. They got another one coming in there. Now that's Florida, supposed to slide across, but thinking about you on that two-wheeler headed down to the southeast here the next day or two.
Well, I always say you don't have to be afraid of the weather, but you have to respect it.
Hell yeah, you do.
So we're going to make it into Florida on Friday, and we're going to take care of Gold Star families down there on Friday. Hopefully we'll miss the actual storm, but there's some families down there that are looking forward to having us come by.
Yeah, I want to mention to our listeners, by the way, the Gold Star Ride Foundation, we're talking to Tony Price about this morning. It is an American 501c3 nonprofit corporation, goldstarride.org, if you want to support Tony and the Gold Star families out on these rides. And you've also got a book for sale there as well.
And I'm hoping to work on a sequel pretty soon.
Yeah, where you talk about meeting these families. What's it like? Just give me one example of when you get together with a family. You roll in, you say, they know you're coming, right?
Yeah, they always know we're coming. They have to make the first contact. We never make first contact with Gold Star families. They always call us first, and there's always a waiting list. But my favorite story to tell is the story of it was a couple of years ago now. Somebody called me, reached out to us and said, "You got to meet my best friend. She's a Gold Star mom." And we went to meet with her, and we met with her for about 3 hours, and we hugged our goodbyes, and everything was warm and fuzzy. And down the road I went, and about a week later I heard back again from that best friend, and the best friend said, "Your visit was the greatest thing that could have ever happened," because later that same day she went home and tore up her own suicide note.
Wow.
Goodness.
And that's been a couple years now, but you know what, she and I are still good friends. I just talked to her about 3 days ago.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And we know that America, Minnesota, we love our Gold Star families, but there's a tendency, as is with human nature and the busyness of life, that we move on from spending time with them. And that's what I love about your ride, man. You get out there and you walk the walk in addition to talking the talk, and spend some time with these people and let them know that...
Yeah, we want to make sure that they know that at least one person, that at least our organization doesn't want to forget the sacrifice that they paid, so the rest of us could, hang out and talk about foot fetishes on the radio.
Well, let them. We'll take care of the foot fetishes. You take care of the hard work, the tough lifting, the Lord's work. But let them know, please, that everybody back here, I'm certainly every KQ listener and everyone here in this building rides with you. And
I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. The families appreciate it very much. And the KQ listeners are just awesome. Just awesome.
Yeah, no, they always support this stuff. 3 days of riding, 1,700 miles, 6 Gold Star families, and counting on this 59th trip, man. Well, we wish you the very best out there on the road, brother. I want you to check in when you get back safely. And I will also mention this. Last year, the Gold Star Ride Foundation gave 83% of what was generated through donations right back to the Gold Star families. So Gold Star Ride.
Oh, thanks for mentioning that.
Yeah. goldstarride.org if our listeners want to check that out when they have a moment. Parting words, my brother?
Oh, I wish I would have known you were going to ask that question. I don't see a single cloud in the sky. It looks like it's going to be a great day for riding. You know what? I'm going to miss Minnesota while I'm gone.
What's that?
But I'm going to be doing some good things. I'm going to be meeting some great people, and some people that made some awesome sacrifices for all of us. So,
all right,
rubber side down.
Rubber side down,
Get
shiny side up, and twist that throttle. And Godspeed, my man. Tony, thanks for checking in. We'll look forward to talking to you when you get back our way.
All righty, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, Tony Price, Gold Star Ride Foundation, goldstarride.org.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.